Hello, it is me, Legendary, and this is my final entry for yapping about the new facility buildings in the Update 59 dev branch. I have now moved over to the pre-patch war, and I am training a whole bunch of new players how to do logistics. So this will be my last opportunity to test things before I go off and fight in the real war starting on November 18th. So, first and foremost, one of the things that we discovered at the start of pre-patch is that the Infantry Arms Factory is a Tier 2 facility structure. Now, this is counterintuitive to the design of the building because we all thought that the new melee weapons, that being the Raiding Club and the Dagger, would in fact be Tier 1 weapons that would be used alongside Argentis and Mammons and Boma Stones and Harpers in the early war fights where it's mostly infantry combat. But to our surprise, once the pre-patch war started, we found that the base infantry arms factory building is indeed a tier 2 facility. So it's on the same tier as being unlocked as artillery guns or half-tracks. So if you're going into the Foxhole war for the real war in 119, please keep in mind that you will not have access to the basic melee weapons of the game until you have basically artillery and other tier 2 facilities unlocked. I think that this is a bad direction for this structure and its intended purpose. I really think that the base facility itself should be a tier 1 facility. So if you agree with me, please take some time to go to the Foxhole official Discord, go to the dev branch feedback room, and respectfully request that the daggers and clubs should be a tier 1 recipe available in the infantry arms facility, and the facility building itself should be a tier 1 buildable structure. Please do not brigade the Foxhole official Discord. Do not harass any of the staff. Do not harass any members of the Siege Camp dev team. They are very hardworking, wonderful people. But you may respectfully go there and give the same sort of feedback that I have in mind. I really think that this structure needs to be a tier 1 facility building. It should not be locked behind tier 2 tech. So if you agree with me, feel free to give that feedback as well. Or if you don't feel like being vocal with this opinion, just go to the dev branch feedback room and upvote any suggestions that follow along with these type of rhetoric. Okay, again, please do not harass anyone. Please do not brigade the official Foxhole Discord. Respectfully give feedback, as I expect all logistic players to do. Right, just to double back on a previous question that I answered incorrectly. This has to do with how many items can be stored inside of a infantry arms factory stockpile. So I incorrectly stated that it would hold 32,000 crates of items. I was wrong. After testing it over the last few days, I have discovered that it indeed only holds 1,000 crates, as opposed to the 32,000 crates that I previously hypothesized. So, when you run an infantry arms factory and you're stockpiling disassembled crates inside the building stockpile itself, you can go up to 1,000. If you're busy running a public queue and it reaches the 990th crate threshold, then the recipe will not finish because there's no room for the 10 crates to be moved into it. So keep that in mind for your builds, but this is a nice thing and to have because now you can essentially hold a lot of crates, although not as much as 32,000 that I initially suggested. One additional thing to keep in mind is it's 1,000 crates of items for every single item slot. So you can have a IAF that is holding 1,000 crates of 20mm, 1,000 crate of sticky grenades, 1,000 crates of flasks, and you can keep running production on that structure for other recipes that haven't met that stockpile limit. So if you have 1,000 crates of 20mm in this building over here, you can see I'm happily building smoke grenades without any interruptions because there are no items in the smoke grenade item inventory, so it will be moved in once the recipe concludes. So this does open up some new meta ideas here. Some people might be looking at the infantry arms factory as a really large CTF or CTS hoard, and I am inclined to agree. So if you want to hoard some specific items in your facility, specifically the ones in the input and output slot for the crate stockpile, this could be a good alternative to have inside your facility loop. One more thing to talk about is just how reservable crates or disassembled crates work. I briefly touched on this as a footnote in one of the previous discussion topics in the previous videos, but I thought I would just go over this one more time just so people are very clear on how you create reservable disassembled crates. So if you are in an IAF and you want to have crates that eventually make its way into a private stockpile, like a seaport or a depot stockpile, you need to create your crates in a reservable crate format. So to do that, you need to switch your order to the personal queue, and then you need to take all the resources required to fulfill that order and place it inside the UI in this middle column. Do not submit things into the public stockpile. Do not put your resources in the public stockpile. If you want to successfully make reservable disassembled crates, it needs to go into this middle column. Once the recipe is complete, the reservable crates will appear as a number inside of the output slot. You then need to drive a vehicle to the structure, and you need to left click on this icon to pull the crates into your vehicle inventory. If you move these crates into the public stockpile, it is a public disassembled crate permanently. There's no way to change it back. So be very cognitive of this fact. When you want to create reservable disassembled crates that will get upgraded to reservable regular crates through a seaport or depot stockpile, you need to do it through this middle UI. Completely ignore this right-hand UI. It is just there to deceive you. Okay, so that's how you make reservable disassembled crates. Follow those steps and life should be good. One additional thing is when you submit a reservable disassembled crate into a CTS, it will be held as a reservable crate. And when you pull it out of the CTS, it will still be reservable. Additionally, reservable crates do not show up on the Intel map. So when you hover over the transfer station icon on the Intel map, it'll only show public crates. So here you can see this one is holding 2 sets of raiding clubs that are public and 1 crate of dusks that are public as well. So only public crates show up on the CTS and reservable crates remain hidden. Additionally, if you submit non-disassembled crates, so just use regular crates that you get from a factory or an MPF, they are reservable. You put them inside the CTS, they will remain reservable. So that's another way you can create reservable crates or reservable disassembled crates is from regular crates as well. So another question I've been asked while playing in-game is what's the best use for a CTS now? The main goal for the CTS is to make transferring of items fast. So if you have regular crates or disassembled crates and you want to quickly move it through your facility, the best way to do this is with a CTS and a small train to pull it through. For WL, we like to use a lot of shipping containers to move large amounts of crates in bulk. So this is something that we are currently theorizing of adding inside of our logistical loops as well. And if you are privy to my YouTube channel, you may have seen a proof of concept video that I uploaded a couple of days ago. Do take a look at that if you're interested to see where we're cooking with this idea so far. But the idea here is we might have an alternative to prepare your shipping containers before they head off to the front. So the CTS might be an excellent alternative to curating specific shipping containers and completely avoiding needing to go to a seaport to reorganize any of your crates before they go onto your train or your ship or your flatbed truck. So this is something that we're thinking about. The CTS might be a way for us to organize our crates a little bit better. So we dump a chaotic mix of disassembled crates and crates inside the structure. We figure out the best 60 crates to go into the container. We pull it with a small train, and then off it goes to the front. Alternatively, another thing that we've been thinking about is now that we realize that you can hold 1,000 crates of each of the input or output items inside the infantry arms factory, we essentially have a really large, really bulky CTS that doesn't show up on the intel map. So, you know, if you're bulk producing mortars, or if you're bulk producing any of the special equipment that goes into the recipes or as part of the output of these various recipes, this might be something that you might also want to consider having in your facility. And again, the loop remains. So if you like bulk producing mortars, or if you really like bulk producing shrapnel mortar like I do, and you want to store a lot of those crates, this might be a better structure to use as opposed to the original CTS. And of course, it also doesn't show up in Intel, like I said. So an alternative to hoarding, maybe? We're thinking about it, but of course, all the crates that you store inside a IAF will always be public. So keep that in mind. At least it doesn't show up as an icon on the Intel map. So security through obscurity, as they say. All right, the final thing to then talk about is pull times. So I tested various vehicles pulling things to and from both the CTS as well as the IAF. As far as I can tell, disassembled crates pull equally fast regardless of what structure it comes from. So it doesn't matter if it's the transfer station or the arms factory, they both pull at the exact same time. But for regular vehicles, so this will be your logistics trucks and your cranes and all the other vehicles that are in the game, like your light utility vehicles, etc., to pull 15 crates of disassembled crates from your structures, it will take 1 minute and 30 seconds. If you are using a small train with the new stow wheel box cart, it will take 25 seconds. So to fully fill an entire shipping container, it will essentially take about 1 minute and 10 seconds, a little bit more, to fully fill an entire shipping container. As opposed to just pulling 15 crates, takes a whole minute and 30 seconds as well. All right, so if you want to quickly move disassembled crates through your facility, you gotta use the new box cart. It's basically unavoidable. The speed up that you get is massive. You can clearly see with these times. So definitely consider adding this to your facility when you want to use either the IAF or the CTS as part of your main logistical loop. All right, so that's basically it for me. Thanks again for everyone interacting with the videos. I hope you have been given a lot of insight on how the new facility buildings work. As always, feel free to ask Logi related questions in the YouTube comments. I'm more than happy to go through them and answer as best I can. If you're interested in playing in the big update war or in the pre-patch war, I am playing Colonial. I am playing for the Winter Legion Logistics. So just come and find me in the WL Logi squad chat. I'm more than happy to teach you how all these systems work. I love teaching new players, so feel free to just pop in, say hi, come hang out with us, and come try out the public logistic life to help supply the fronts. All right, that's it for me for this update 59 video chain. This is the final one. So I will see everyone in the update war. Good luck to both sides. And I hope everyone has a great war. Right, that's it for me. And thanks so much for watching all these videos.